be your physical life, but in choosing to dedicate your whole life because you know the value and the benefit of what Scouting stands for, and it's your desire to give that to others. So years from now, maybe surrounded by your family as you and they remember the life that you led, what will your legacy be? If in any way you've earned this medal, was it really before it was awarded, or was it after? And recognizing that you have left a legacy, will others look back on what you invested in them and recognize that they stood on your shoulders, that you gave them a great gift? More importantly, will you one day stand before the one who gave the greatest gift that none of us can ever earn, the great master of all scouts, to whom we're called to worship and to serve in thankfulness and gratitude? Will you on that day hear the words, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant"? As I was preparing for this, and I kept thinking about this idea of earning my own eagle and my own silver beaver, and I sometimes shudder at the thought of that. I've often felt inadequate when I compare myself to the great scouts and scouters that I've known, many of whom are in this room right now. And even tonight, as I'm honored to stand before you, I think of many others who I see as a much greater embodiment of the ideals of Scouting than I am. My own efforts seem small in comparison. And when I think of my many flaws and failures and sometimes wonder if I'm at all deserving, but then I realize the point I made previously, that the awards were really just a charge to go forward with my life and to seek to live the rest of my life that way, despite what I feel were my past shortcomings. Tomorrow's a new day, and it must be an everyday thing. It takes constant vigilance, constant dedication, and constant self-awareness. So how do we keep this before us every day? We have to have reminders, and reminders are much like those flags and those rows of crosses on that now quiet battlefield in France. And often these reminders come to us in the form of things like the Scout Oath and the Scout Law, the motto, the slogan. They come in the form of the symbols that represent those words, the Scout badge, the Scout sign, the handshake, these other pieces of cloth and metal that are on our uniforms. These represent the ideas and words that we might have learned at a very young age, and still, in my case at least, I can still repeat without error after many years. And I know that most of you can as well. Now, thinking about that, I just couldn't get this simple song out of my mind. And these words neatly tie together what I think Scouting is all about. I probably first heard it over 40 years ago, and I think most of you will recognize it. And if you're like me, you've sung this in the late evening around a campfire. But like all such things, it's easy to simply mouth the words and not seriously consider their meaning. So putting these words in front of us daily, not as mere words recited out of habit, but as true life principles, is the key to really earning these awards in the future. So tonight, I want you to consider these words as a reminder and a charge to live in that way from this day forward to the best of your ability, not so much to earn the award which you now wear, but to do these things in gratitude and as a gift to others. Now, I'm not going to sing this song because my singing voice is scary and we have a lot of program after this and you may rush from the room if I do that. But I'd like to remind you of the words which should be really a call to an honest self-assessment, to reflection, to continued focus on the ideals of Scouting. And it's a call to a life in which actions are aligned with words. I want you to listen closely to the plain words, but also ponder what should really be a deep and profound realization of where you are now and where your journey should lead you. And the song is called Scout Vespers. Softly falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently, each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared. Thank you very much, and congratulations.